Mm-hmm. There I am. Well, there I was. And there I still am. So let's do this while we're waiting. Grab that. And then, uh-oh, confirmation already. Dang. So, do. Whoa, Captain Kidd. How the dickens are you? I hope your Halloween went well. Way back. So, some more Forrest Fenn. You're very quick, that was. I'm not even prepared myself to speak. Some more Forrest Fenn. 5 years ago, I started doing videos and I said that there was a soul. I don't know what my exact words were, but people were kicking off about, what happened. Hi, INFJ. Good to have you here. Hope your Halloween went well as well. And your All Souls Day, to be fair. So I did these videos and I said there was a soul. And I didn't know why people were kicking off and saying bad things about Forrest. Whether Forrest is a bad person or not is irrelevant. But the point was they were saying that, shady things happened and they were questioning the answers. So I told you the answers, but nobody heard that, which is crazy, but what can you do? The double Omegas, nobody knows. I was limited on the words I could use. As I've gone alone in there with my treasures bold, I can keep my secret where and hint of riches new and old. Begin it where warm waters halt. Take it in the canyon down, not far, but too far to walk. Wait, what? Hang on a minute, Forrest. Halt. Confirmation. Halt doesn't rhyme with walk. What's going on there, Forrest? Halt doesn't rhyme with walk. Why don't you use walk? And I said these things 5 years ago. Why don't you use the word walk? That rhymes with walk, and that means halt. I was limited on the words I could use, said Forrest. I looked up all the words in that poem, said Forrest, especially the nouns. Oh, it's been that long now since I said I can't remember what he actually did say. But it was to do with the nouns. I looked up all the words in the poem. I'm sure he said especially the nouns. In that way, but if not, don't jump up and down. You know what he meant. Or you know what I mean now. Can you freely talk now without messing up FF's plan? I'm having a hard time reading between your lines. Um, Most of the time, I haven't been talking about the chase. I've been talking about real life and Father's plan to reclaim creation and send the devil packing. And the chase has become not insignificant, but down the list in comparison to waking people up and setting creation straight, bringing in new earth and the new humans and those things. So begin it where warm waters halt, not balk instead of walk. No, with that rhymes with walk. Why was that? And I told you it was because he put a comma there. Begin it where warm waters, comma. That's why I had to use that word. Also, the word actually makes more sense reading the information that is given. So I've told you all of this. If Halt was there, he couldn't make the words that he wanted to make if you read it in the way that I did the grid. But in this instance, for those people who say, oh, you're messing with the poem, not messing with the poem, just using the information that's there. It doesn't say begin it where warm waters halt. It says, comma, where warm, insert of faithful, waters, insert another word for waters, comma. So why do I say that? This is when I have to do 2 different pages. So, mark. Remember mark, it's important later on. Not remember the person mark. Let me do this in a different, like the way that I've been doing it before. Da, 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 da. Hang on, what am I doing? I am duplicating the tab, shrinking it down, coming back to you. Oh, you weren't supposed to be small. The other tab's supposed to be small. That didn't work. Right, so open that. Then go to the small one. Shrink it. Read it. Oh, but now I'm sharing a different screen. Dang, this is more complicated than it was. How did I do it last time? I can't even remember. This is the one I'm sharing. So mark. Remember that. Remember this is comma. So begin it where, whatever that reads in that portion, warm, changing that to Old Faithful because you can go right to it. Spouts, whatever word you want to put in there for waters, comma, confirmation. So there's a comma because it's halt. Now, the thing you need to be aware of, Forrest explaining that he does these weird things, like puts a picture there or whatever, tells you pretty much what he did. He didn't use the word balk. So here we have a comma with the word halt being in place of the comma. So he didn't write a comma there, he used the word halt there. And we look through. And he talked about these when he was talking about the alcove and the recess and the blah 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 blah. Get the check and the weight. You'll have to wait. That's an important word in everything else. Ah, look, Mr. Whisperer. The beat of the drum. Happy hour. Remember, these are scrapbooks that he did. Oh, you won't find it at spring break or a coffee break. Ooh, some of those. The end is ever drawing nigh. Now, nobody knows what nigh means, and I'm not going to go into it now because it'll take forever, but it means here. Nigh means here. The end is ever drawing here. And you'll see why in a minute. Remember, I did a 10 sleep video, which is also in Wyoming. Someone is close. I know that's close, but someone is close. Took a holding pattern. Your quest to cease. Your quest to comma. Find the blaze. If you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down. So from halt, comma, looking quickly down, is cease. Okay, I'll go along with that. Let's not forget the dead end, but that also means Burke, as does canopy. So let me go back to you because, oh, sugar, saying loads. I will be dead before the truth comes out. I've always been telling you the truth. Well, the truth is out, but not recognised by people everyone's told to believe. Thanks, Sophia. It's good to have you here. Hope you're well. Hi, Trusted. Oh, Trusted's here as well. Oh, I must have missed something already. Oh, don't do that. You're just being silly now. It's just closed up on me. Hello, Trusted. I've been awake since 1 a.m. So tired, but cannot sleep. CSA messed me up again and demand half of my income every month. I feel abused. Yeah, that's what I'm working on. Not abusing people, but having them not be abused. My stomach is now extended and I have a dry cough. I wish I could do something. I am working in my garden, just measuring them. Oh no, he's doing his spiritual stuff, working on his garden at 1 a.m. All good. So let's go back again to where I was before. No, that's not the one. Is it the one? This is the one. So the dead end being the Burke. Checkmate. Why has nobody been able to say checkmate, Forrest, Fenn? So here's the answer again. I told you the answer before. All of those answers, they're all true. Here's another answer. Why has nobody been able to say comma, Forrest, Fenn? There's your answer. Why has nobody been able to say that Forrest used a comma? And if you were able to say checkmate, you would know, and I told you about the checkmate and everything before, you would know that this is what he did. He used halt, the word halt for the actual comma, punctuation. And if you could say checkmate, you would know that that was the case. So Forrest, and there's loads of reasons why checkmate's involved, but this is just a main one, that if you can read what the poem says without changing it, even though Forrest did, read me what the poem says and it's game over. So basically you have to tell poem what the poem was, the first draft that Douglas Preston read, probably, potentially. So checkmate is comma. If you could tell Forrest that it said comma, and you could tell him the other words, because there's a word that is key, but you need all of them. So basically one word means, one word in the poem means the other words in the poem that you need all of, which is just the synonyms. So if you get the one word, you will get all the other words that you can change to mean whatever Forrest wanted it to mean. So we've had end, we've had halt, we've had cease, we have checkmate, which is not in the poem. Don't forget the jam, confirmation, that Sasha and Forrest talked about. Period. Oh, that's a full stop. Excuse me, confirmation. And mothballing. Don't forget the mothballs that Forrest talked about. Grace. Time. A lot of confirmation here. Sorry, the energy is flipping strong. The energy is strong in that one. So through time, in the bin. Got it out. Here's that mountain again in Montana. Confirmation. Not lying. Everything I'm saying is true. Catch 22. The rain check sent Forrest a message about Jack and the rain check. Leave. Another word in the poem. So there's a word that is key, but you need all of them. One of them won't take you there. He didn't hide it in the winter, he hid it in the summer, which is wood, maybe. The minute the second hand struck 8 o'clock, don't forget Shiloh's tie. Not going to go through all of them because I've been through these hundreds of times and I've told you what they mean. Oh, there was a race and there was a dead heat. How deep is a comma? How deep is a hole? We had 10 and now we've got 5. Words don't mean what you think they do they? Remember the repose. Freedom, freedom, get the freedom plane. Completion. So I'm telling you, this is the end. My friend, the end. The finale. The brick wall. Remember, Suki ate the mushrooms? A bit retarded like that. There has been a time delay. A semicolon. Oh, what? So Forrest couldn't use balk. Why couldn't he use balk? Because it's not a synonym of comma. Halt is. And of all the words here, you had to use that one. Even though you could use cease, even though you could use end, even though you could use all of these other words, there is no balk. Couldn't use the word leave. Well, it could have, but it wouldn't sound like walk anyway. So, we have the word comma. That is the word halt. Dang, what's going on? Where are you people? I'm lost. What the heck happened there? I've lost you, yes, I've lost you. I can't reach you anymore. There you are. So, now you know why he used the word halt and not the word balk. He couldn't. He put a comma there, and the only way he could put the comma there with using the words before that. So he wanted to change the words before that, so he didn't tell you where it was. And with changing those words, he had to put a comma at the end. And he needed a word that rhymed with walk, or as close to walk as he could get. And he couldn't use balk because balk wasn't the comma that he put there. So, why am I telling you that? Because we need the double omegas. We need to understand what omega means. They need to understand. Oh, there it is. So, what is another word for omega? Just making sure that that's right. My prep work for next spring turned into a total redo. It doesn't look, wow, going quick. Doesn't look much different, but well, at 1 a.m. in the end, 1 a.m. in the morning, I'm surprised you could have what it looked like at all. So I had to dig all of them out. Forrest used to do a lot in the garden. He used to water the trees, which is, I don't know, maybe looking after his ancestors. Yeah, raised beds are nice for a lot of reasons. Wow, you must be busy, Trusted. My flower bulbs are so confused. They are blooming with the warm days. Yes, I've got flowers growing. I think I've already said. And now I've got a bush, a yellow bush, a yellow, can't remember what it's called. Poinsettia, is it? Don't know. No. Big flowers, not the small flower, yellow flowers, but big flowers, big flowers. And that's starting to bloom again. It's like, wow, you're not supposed to bloom now. You've already bloomed like 3 months ago or whatever. I worked myself to a heat stroke, so I've slowed down. I still think I will get down as next season starts. Well, the way things are going, it'll all be one season, or just not much difference between one and the next, because my grass is still growing, and if it's a nice day tomorrow or the next day, I'll probably have to cut it again, and that's crazy because we're in November. Just crazy. Sounds a lot like how it's always working. Yes, bulbs are growing here also. Elephant garlic and walk. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's like what? What? So, not so, but so. Let's get busy. Omega. Well, here we have that word end again. So, probably going to find the word halt. So, these are remember, it's information given the same, not the same, given different words, but the same word. So, the omega is ever drawing here. So, he's talking about he's gone to a place, which is Warm Waters Halt, which is all faithful, and everything is here. The end is here. From here, from there, as I've gone alone in there, and from there, that same place that I went alone in, these are all the things that are in that place because I didn't go anywhere else. I just went to one place. So the end is ever drawing here. You're already here. It's already there. So 9 means here. The end game. Again, we have period. We're in the grand finale. Epic and doodah, doodah, doodah. Oh, swan song. Wonder if we get a fat lady singing. Your quest to cease. So the omega, remember. So remember, look quickly down from Halt. Remember I told you, don't forget Mark either. Not Luke and John, just Mark. From Halt, there is cease. Now, you've just seen there are 2 omegas. There's Halt. We've just seen Halt. Not lying, or have we? Did we? No, we haven't seen Halt yet. We're seeing cease first. We saw Halt on the other one. So we see cease, but Halt and cease, they're both under omega. So now we have the 2 omegas. And if you look down from the Halt, if you look quickly down from the Halt, you will see the word cease in the poem. And those are the double blazes, 2 omegas, because omega is a blaze. Or blaze is, no, is that right? Well, we'll soon see. So we have cease, and then we'll see Halt, which is look quickly down from Halt, and you will see cease, and it will end because you've got the comma that took you to the cease. Don't forget his curtain. It was never an issue in the family. This tax expiry thingamajoody. Last word is gold on the bottom line. There's halt. So from the word halt, you look quickly down and you get the word cease, which is where it's telling you to finish. And everything happened here in that one place. You never went anywhere else. You just started at Warm Waters, which is Old Faithful Vent or whatever it says. Can't remember. I think it's Vent, Old Faithful Vent or Spouts or something like that. Whatever word you want to put in there. And he had to finish there, so he put a comma there because Old Faithful and then whatever the word Waters is. He could have just left Waters as it was, Old Faithful Waters. But I put a different word in. And then comma with the word halt as opposed to a comma. And from that comma, you look quickly down, you see the word cease, and you have your two omegas because halt and cease is another word for omega. So there are your two omegas, your double blazes, whatever you want to flipping call them. Those are them. The sunset, the final word. Break. You won't find it. Spring break. Love these curtains. Two curtains, two omegas. Not lying, I'm just telling you. Success is an omniscient guru. You wouldn't know. Or would you? Again, you're having the same. Remember the log jam in, well, I said it was something a ton in Wyoming, Riverton. But he talked about the log jam, and when he was young, he would have those, was it omelets? Can't remember. They cooked something anyway, and they were the best he's ever had. The solution. Now we have two omegas, so we have two solutions. We have the solution that is for a chest, and a solution that is for the treasure, or the gold, or whatever, the trove. So we have the two omegas, the two solutions. We'll look quickly down from the halt, you get cease. Those are your two together, and you finish because you know that that's what happened. You still have the word wait. Here's the word failure, the sin. If you don't find it, you don't have long life. You have death. The wages of sin, the wages of failure is death. Here we have the end of everything. Where's the word head? Here we have the word checkmate again. Why has nobody been able to say checkmate Forrest Fenn? So that's because you found the comma and you found the word halt is the comma, and it leads you to the word cease. If you look quickly down. These are the final thoughts. Oh, look, there's Dizzy. There's the mountain again, the cut off mountain. We're in the end stages. It's all a performance. Everything's crumbling for some people, or collapsing, closing down, shutting down. How deep is a hole? Took me to Union Pass, that one did. Don't forget the curb. Forget the block. Get the railroad tracks. Can't remember what that was for now. Oh, the postscript. The fag end. The lady, the caretaker in the book. The recess. Move in. The release. The cat was easy to release. Victory! Victory! These are some of the top of the mountain close. Some of the words that are used in the scrapbooks. Any part of some is better than no part of any. Now, in this, because I'm not vain, but because I'll bring it back to me, because me is everything, and myself and I is the Holy Trinity. Me, myself, I. The any part of some, which is the M, is better than no part of any, which is the A. Mama. The meridian is the 0. This is 0 o'clock. This is where I am. In England, we're on the meridian, Greenwich time meridian. That's 0 point energy. I haven't written it down anywhere. It's in my head. My double omegas, my comma, and my cease. Obviously knows why it's the comma and cease, and obviously knows where he put it. So he doesn't need to write it down. He doesn't need to, doesn't need any clues or anything because he already knows the answers. He doesn't need them. And they're all in his head because they're all in his head. So it's not, whilst it's noon, remember the noon that we're talking about? While it's noon, it's actually midnight. And there's the contradiction and everything. So while it's noon, it's actually midnight because it's 0, not 12. This is 12. We've had 10 and 5. And this is... So here's somebody that used to be in chat. Probably got a different name now, but same. People think they're hiding, but they're not. So here we have the high water mark. Mark is, remember, don't remember it. Mark is the comma. So we have the high water mark, which is the mark above cease. Remember, there'll be no paddle up your creek, just heavy loads and water high. So the high water mark, the mark is the comma, the water high. At the point of water high, that's where you finish. Because just heavy loads and water high. If you'd been wise and found the blaze, halt, look quickly down, your quest to cease. So at the high water mark, here it is, the omega, or the comma, or however you want to look at it. At that point, if you've been wise and found the blaze, you look quickly down from halt, you get cease. At that point that you're at the water high, from halt, you will see water high as well. So looking down, you will see all of that and know that you've finished, and you've finished. So the reason for halt is because he couldn't use balk because it doesn't mean comma. That's why I use the word halt. So now you know. Even though in the poem, when you read it with the grid, it's needed for other words to make other words. And you know why he said, read me what the poem says, and it's game over, because we have end game and all of that in there, because it's finished. It's all about cease. It's all about stopping. It's all about it's finished. And you saw those words there, and it's in his head. So everything that I've told you is true, based on words don't mean what you think they do, and I've shown you the words, and I've shown you these words, 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I showed you these words. The very same words that says, this is what Forrest Fenn did, this is how he did it, and if you change those words, you can read Forrest the poem as it's supposed to be written, as he wrote it originally, and then changed it to not tell you where the treasure or the chest was, because they're two different things. So I've explained to you why it is what it is. I've explained to you why he needed the word halt, and he couldn't use anything else because nothing else rhymed better than halt, because he just put a comma there in the poem. Sounds a lot like how I was always working. Oh, that was before. What keyword unlocks the poem, Mario? Well, they all unlock the poem, but the poem is locked. Warm unlocks the poem because it tells you where it is. It tells you where it is. But if you understand that halt had to be used because it was a comma, once you know that, you know all the other words are wrong. And you know that if you can't think his thoughts, he has to tell you what it is Looking up all the words in the poem means you have to do the same. And if you know that halt has been changed to a comma, that doesn't make sense if you read it. Begin where warm waters, comma. So before that, you know that you changed it, and it could be blaze. Begin is blaze. So the blaze is actually where you are, where you start, where you finish, because that's what it is. If you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down and quest to cease. So you begin at blaze. Blaze means begin. Begin means blaze. You end at blaze because look quickly down and quest to cease. But if you know that warm is Old Faithful, it's done. But in all of those cases, any word in the poem can mean something else. So you don't have to read it, any of it, the way that it's written. So I told you in the very beginning that it says, or can say, if you've been, no, if you are confident and contact Forrest, I give you ownership of the deed. That's what it could mean at the bottom bit. If you are brave and in the wood, but then brave means something else, so you could read that as something else. But the thing is, if you read the poem correctly, you can understand what it is that Forrest is saying. So why is it that I must make, instead of go, make, and leave my trove for all to seek? So Forrest hadn't yet made the treasure or the trove because he used the word make instead of go. So why is it that I should make and leave my trove for all to seek? It means he's in the process of doing something. He can't end the chase because either he's not in charge of the chase or whatever it is that he needs to give has not been made yet. He hasn't made the trove. The trove does not exist. The spot doesn't exist that you need to have in order to receive whatever Forrest is going to give you. And something ends the chase. Whatever it is, something needs to happen in order that Forrest can give what he's making. So if he was, say, he was making a statue, he couldn't give you the statue until he'd finished making it, even if you give him the answer. And completion of the statue means he can give you it, or getting the spot means that he can give you it. Until the spot is achieved, you can't be given it, even though it exists in a certain state. It's not the spot until it becomes the spot. That's just the way that it is. So in all of this, people have decided to not act in a proper manner, let's say, and intended for different things to take place that should have took place. And I'm not bothered about the chase, because in all of this, the thrill of the chase is the wrong thing to do, because you're not supposed to chase anything. You're supposed to attract everything. The American dream is a lie for everybody, anywhere around the world. They put you in that mindset that you have to chase and fight and work for everything that you want, and you don't. And life is basically the thrill of the chase. There's a lure that says, if you behave in this way and do these things, you will have this. That's not the case. They're giving you the hardest way of doing it, but the best way that they can gain something. Remember, the chess is just a lure. So if the chess is just a lure, then whoever's put the lure out wants something from you or wants you. It's as simple as that. That's the truth. I'm not lying. If somebody's put a lure out there, whether you're a rabbit or a deer or whatever fish, you're in trouble. The lure is not there to help you. The lure is there to drag you in, bring you in. And that's what life is. And that's what the American dream is. The dream is the lure, the desire to have that something. And you're told that you need to work for that something, and you don't. You just don't. So the spirituality side of the chase is that Forrest knew that. And greed wouldn't get you that spirituality. It just wouldn't. You had to realize that you're not supposed to, which is why I said to Forrest, I'm not searching anymore. Not searching. Because I found what it was that I needed to find, and I know that I don't need to chase. So for me, the chase is over. Whether it finishes or not doesn't matter. The chase is over because I don't chase anymore. What I want will be given to me because I believe that's the way life is. What I want will be given to me. In my imagination, more important than knowledge. I've told you the truth all through this, and I've explained why, I say the things. Imagination is more important than knowledge, because if you imagine, we are the creators, remember, God is within us. We are able to create if we work with Father, not God, your God, a God. We are a God. The God is within us. The ability to act like Father is within us because we are the sons and daughters of Father. So we can act like a creator, like God, in our imagination. In our imagination, with our pineal gland, with our subconscious, our soul, we can talk to the universe. We can talk to Father. Our soul is able to converse, and in our imagination, our subconscious, in connection with our conscious mind, our heart. So if our soul is our heart, in connection with our mind, so here is our spirit, here is our mind, and we connect the two, and we talk, we create whatever it is we want. That's it. I'm not bullshitting you. That's it. And that's the best way that I can explain it, because I'm not an expert. I just know the truth. That doesn't make me an expert. That just makes me know stuff. I might know all the rules about football, real football. All the rules about football. Doesn't make me a great football player, even though I am a great football player, but I'm too old to play football now. So if I can imagine it, I've told you before, if you can imagine it, it will be done. Like if somebody's thought of it, it will happen. It will happen. So we work with the Father and we create with the Father using the power of the Father, the universe, whatever. Anything's possible then, anything. And your imagination is more important than your knowledge. What you know to be true, what you can imagine to exist will exist. If you go about it the right way. If you go about it the right way. Because you will get to the point where you think you can do these things, and the universe says, or Father says, or Source says, no more. You see, the reason why things happen the way that they've happened, remember, can I make it happen the way that it's supposed to be? Supposed to, who says I can't affect the future? The reason why it's happened the way that it has happened is not because you're clever and you were able to make it happen. It's because Father made it happen. And he told everybody how it was going to happen. And when you people say, well, if there's a God, this wouldn't happen and that wouldn't happen, it's happening because there is a God. And that God is Satan. And he rules earth. We all know that. We just forget that. Like, that's his job. That's where he was sent. That's where he fell. All roads lead to Rome. All paths lead to Rome. The path is religion. Every fucking religion leads to Satan in the Vatican. And if there truly is an angel in that place, you better hope that is released very, very soon. And I mean very soon. I don't know. Is it all hell will break loose if it doesn't? If there truly is an angel in the Vatican, and if that angel is of good standing, as opposed to, I don't know, a fallen angel. So the truth is, all roads lead to Rome, because all religion leads to Rome. All religion. Every fucking one. Because that's what they wanted. Because now it doesn't matter. It's like you've only got two parties in America, blue or red, Democrat or Republic. You have no choice. But we have more than two here. And it wouldn't matter which one we chose. Whoever was in charge would be the devil. And you might think, oh, I'm going to vote this way because, I'm better off if I vote this way. No, no, still the devil. Oh, well, I'll vote for them then. No, still the devil. Well, then and that's what religion is. That's all it is. I'm not saying that some of those things aren't true, because they are. But listen, if not for my name, I would have nothing. Those are the words of Father. That's why his name is for eternity, because we know he is the Father and he has nothing. Satan has stolen his creation and his children. And Father has only his name, Yahuwah. And he told people to call him by that name forever, and they haven't. And he said that's what they would do, and that's what they've done. And he said they would listen to the words of man and not him, and that is what they've done. And he said that he would come and kick your fucking ass and send you to the pit. And that's what he's going to fucking do. And it's already written. And I've said it, and I only tell you the truth. It's going to happen. All of these UFOs that you see, that's the rapture. Them are the people going up, or the beings going up, or the people leaving the earth going up. Not to Father, to God. Satan. Like, that's the evil leaving this planet. Because they're being judged. And I've already said, it doesn't matter where you go in any universe, space, or time, you will be judged. You will be found, and you will be, well, not found because there's nowhere you're going, but you will be judged. You won't get away with it. There will be signs in the heavens, the sun, the moon, the stars, upon the earth. I don't know. There seems to be signs. And when that goes, that will be the biggest sign of all. Now, I'm not here to scare people. I'm here to tell you the truth. I told you the truth. 5 years ago, I told you the truth. And today, I'm telling you the truth. And the chase is not really what I'm concerned about. If I was, this would have been over and done with 5 years ago. Well, no, I wouldn't say that. That's a lie. I take that back. I needed to go through this. Divine timing. Like everything happens in divine timing. And I needed to be me now as opposed to the me that I was. Even though I was always me. Remember? Me, myself, I. The Holy Trinity. The me is the everything. The myself is the conscious part of me. And the I is the soul within me. And together we are everything because it's me in the middle. Walking the grey line, light, dark, masculine, feminine, yin, yang. Balance to fuck. In order to walk that grey line and in order to see and speak truth. Not out of bias, not out of greed, which is what the chase became. Out of the fact that it's true. That's all I want. I want the truth. And I wasn't getting the truth. And I wanted to know who the fuck was who in the zoo. Who could be trusted and who couldn't be trusted. The zoo? Do you think the zoo is the chase? No. The zoo is the world. The zoo is 13 families, Masons, religion, cults, covens, mob. It's all them people, governments. That's what the zoo is. The jungle, maybe. So who's who in the zoo? We found out. From the very top to the very bottom, everybody had to talk to somebody in order to get something done. And when things weren't getting done, it had to go higher. And now, those in the water, under the ocean, seas, whatever, everyone. Those at the top, they won't be sitting at the table. Remember the banquet table? Remember the banquet table. What does it say in the Bible? It's going to set a table. It's going to set a table, and the enemies can watch. Whose enemies? Mine? 144,000? Or mum and dad? Excuse me, confirmation. Those people that, beings, whatever, think that they are gods, think that they are above humans, think that they can control what happens on this planet, think that no one can stop them. He thought wrong. There's a power stronger than anything you could even imagine. I kid you not. And those in government know. They're doing all their researches. They're doing all their flipping algorithms and everything, trying to work out how these things happened and why it wasn't stopped and how come, they infiltrated their computers and blah, 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 blah. How come people know? Why are all these truths coming out? Why are we not covered anymore? Why can't we stop it? Because it's not written that you can. It's written that you won't. And it's written there's going to be 1,000-year peace. And it's written that that fucking wanker that you worship, he's a goner. He's a goner. And everyone involved with him. Remember, I said, if you did not tell the truth, you would fail the test. Some people come out with the truth. Some people are too scared to say the truth. You dig in your own grave by hiding. It is much more likely that Father looks down on you with mercy and grace if you are helping to heal what you wounded. You cannot run from the highest power. It's impossible. The person that is going to snitch on you is you. One consciousness, one being that knows everything, one being that exists everywhere, that can tap in any time, any person. I've told you, Archangel Michael, thousands of years old, thousands of years old, will be in the future, will be in the past. And if Father needs him to do anything, he's always there. And if he needs to kick ass, he will kick ass. So I'm not bothered about the chase. I'm bothered about little children. I'm bothered about women. I'm bothered about men. I'm bothered about the animals. I'm bothered about the seas. I'm bothered about the trees and the flowers and the fucking grass. Not just this planet, but every fucking planet. In any space-time continuum. That's what I'm bothered about. And I don't like it when I hear, when I know what you fuckers are doing. When I read about the tunnels, I hear about Germany and Spain and Denmark and Florida, Wyoming and Alabama and Tennessee and Texas and Japan, Venezuela, China. I hear about those things where you think that a human being is just property, is just energy, is just whatever it is that you think. And I see and hear about those things. I call for judgment. I call for them to be safe. I call for them to be saved. I call for the people that know about it and don't do nothing, them too. I call for the people who are in charge to know what it feels like to be on the receiving end. Even though I don't want no one to suffer. I know that when these people suffer, they take a different view on what it is that they do. And I know, like Spock said, the need of the many outweigh the need of the few, not the other way around. It's not about the few, it's about the many. And when I say many, I don't just mean this world. And so, I say, Father, if the lessons learned need to be by those that are causing the chaos, then they need to learn the lessons. And if those lessons cause suffering, then they need to understand why they are suffering. And those that are good people that have had to endure the suffering are compensated and recompensed. The meek, the righteous, shall inherit the earth. The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. As you reap, so shall you sow. All of those statements, they come into play now. I'm not bothered about the chase, except that in the chase, there is an answer and a divine abundance, a sovereign abundance that is going to reflect on how this world and other worlds are in the future. There is a lot of restitution, recompense, whatever words you want to use that start RE, but not religion. Excuse me, confirmation that is owed. Remember, I started these videos by saying, look, I'd rather it was all good. No one suffers. I wanted everyone to be in a good place. It seems you don't want that. And it seems Father is right. That was the way it's supposed to happen. Or Forrest is right. Make it happen the way it's supposed to happen. Whatever. Whatever you believe. All I know is Forrest Fenn through the chase has all the answers. The answers I already know. But the one answer that it doesn't have is that there is no thrill of the chase. There is no thrill in the chase. For the few, yes. For the people that have the fishing rods, yes. But for the fish, no. So no more chasing. No more searching. Imagine your highest good, your best life, and let it come to you. And if you want to go out searching, fine. But understand that you're doing it because you want to do it, not because you have to do it, not because you're made to do it, not because it will make you richer or famous, because you can have all those things anyway. You're doing it because it's a bit of fun. Isn't that what Forrest said? I'm just having fun. I find it strange that I'm the only one that knows. Oh, hang on. Maybe not. Is you're not the only one, Forrest, that knows what you're saying. Now, I don't want this video to be about the world, but it was brought up, so the answer was on the stiff.com pick. People avoid me. I have no one. You do, Sophie, you have all of us. What is the record? Oh, the second pick. I can't see it. What's second pick? I'm only on YouTube until the hunts are solved. All of them? Wow, you're going to be on YouTube a long time. Well, actually, they could be solved today. But I could tell you the answers if you want the answers. Okay, you have a channel or on other YouTubes. Someone on our team does Crowdsourcing. It's not my thing though. Oh right. You have a team? Oh no, Captain. I thought you were alone. What is crowdsourcing? Sorry, I'm old. Yeah, I think it's probably not a good thing, Sophia. I just watch the solvers that have channels. I have been studying the specimens. Wow, you sound like a reptilian now. Excuse me. Laugh out loud. Okay, sounds good. Crowdsourcing might be a backdoor and a shortcut, some people think. Taking information from others and running with it, basically. Yeah, and that's actually, no. I was going to say that's probably partly me, but no, I didn't do that. Like, I had answers and they related to other people's souls, and then I understood their souls through my own information, if that makes sense. And I keep talking about Troy, but no effect. I'm just saying, like the Five Waters campground that it says in the poem is the same information as the Five Springs, whatever. So the information is in the poem about someone's soul, but it's not in the way that they solved it. So I didn't take their information, but I understand their information through the information that's in the poem. Like, I understand the dusk of the soul, which is, I wish I could have lived to do the things I was attributed to. And it's diabolical. I don't use my channel, it is blank. Blankety blank, blankety blank. Have you got a channel, Captain? I didn't know you had a channel. I was alone in the chase. I met some cool people. I joined with to hunt for JP. I joined with to hunt. Sophia, half the time I don't know whether to believe you or not. Well, I believe you, but in that weird sort of way. What was the statement? You could get there. I can't remember what the saying is. If you have a handicap, tell me and I'll get it. But I think there's something to do with you're able to get to a certain place, with a wheelchair or whatever. So the truth is, the Omegas, halt, cease. Look quickly down from the word halt, you get the word cease. Those are the two Omegas. And if you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down. So once you've seen the comma, like I could go through all the, confirmation. I could go through all the words and explain, bit by bit, but I don't need to. You already know what the answer is. You already know how to solve it if you want to solve it. The only thing you don't know is how to get the trove. That's a different matter. You don't understand what the moon's all about. Come outside, there's a lovely moon up there. No, that was cold outside. That was theirs, but there's a place on the moon that you can go in peace. And that's an important place. And they're putting a treasure hunt on the moon, I think. Or they've already done it, one or the other. Excuse me. Which could be, linked to all the other hunts that are going on. There's so much truth that people don't know because they don't want to listen. I suppose going forward, because it's always best to go forward. Is that in this one? It's forward in this. Oh, I can't move that, can I? Forward might be in here. It might be one of them. Forward might be a synonym for one of these, but forward is a good work. But the high water mark, so the high water mark is the high water comma. So the comma comes after all faithful spurts, whatever, where the comma is. So once it goes up, look quickly down. So you come to that point, you're already at the blaze because that's where it is. That's where you start, that's where you finish, but you know the place for the first time because it started as the start and now you're at the finish. Everything that I said is true. Everything that I said is simple because the word simple is old faithful and straight and right and dead and all those other things that you can read, and head. It's in my head. So the information that is important is in Forrest's head, and they're just words which don't mean what we think they do, but they mean what he thinks they do, and you can't think of the answer. It's impossible. You have to be told it, and by told it I mean you have to do what Forrest did, and you have to take all the information that he gave us and work out why he gave us that information. Like, did the hot water affect the patina? Which is, words for old faithful, which is hot water. And he said, oh, they thought they got a clue. Well, they did have a clue, but he made us believe that they didn't. Because whilst he was leading us to the treasure, he was also leading us away from the treasure, which is why you get contradictions. So he's telling us what the answer is, where the answer is, because it's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. The what and the where, it's the same thing. No. Yeah, what the place is and where the place is the same thing. So he's telling us the answer, and then he leads us away by telling us the answer. He tells you the answer, and in that telling you the answer, he leads you somewhere else. It's quite clever, really. But in all of it, he's been telling the truth. Over and over. He's told us the truth. And every contradiction of the truth took people away from where he was telling you had to go. He's saying you've got to go there, and he takes you away from it by telling you you've got to go there. And it was simple. I suppose if the first draft was the original words, I suppose it was simple to Douglas, which, again, where is Douglas? And why has nobody tried to get hold of him or speak to him, or, why is everybody waiting for Shiloh? Why has Douglas not come forward with anything? Why has the chest and the treasure not been donated? All of those things, leave a bitter taste, because whoever the finder is, they believed Forrest when he said it would go back to the Smithsonian. And even the words in the poem say that they would work together and donate it. I can't remember coddle. Was it coddle? I can't remember the exact word that was used. Coddle. I think it was coddle. Look up the word coddle. So, hidden treasures are not meant to be retrieved by anyone other than the hider. Oh, there you go. Trust is giving it to you, and he's taking no prisoners. Have a wonderful afternoon, peeps. I'm going to listen to Mabel's Coral for a few. I don't know what that is, but thanks for popping in, Captain. I'm going anyway. I've said what I needed to say, and I'm trying to keep my videos down to below an hour. I know it's not, but I'm trying, rather than 3 hours, because nobody's listening to them. But I hope that people just take bits out of it, not slag me off and do the things that they're doing. Not those people. other people that take bits out that are important and then, give people peace of mind. Like those, it's really the answers those are, and people need to know. All those who tried and wondered why did he use the word halt? What are the double omegas? What's this? What's that? What are the others? Like they can only be what the words say they are. Forrest can't make it be something else. This is important as far as Artemis goes. Another thing written in the poem, the 3 stages of Artemis. There are many souls in that poem, and David B will tell you. Like David B's a good man, and he's done, loads, and he should be proud of what he's done. Never going to forget him. Always going to have him, always going to be indebted to him. Probably the only person that took their brain out of gear and actually listened to something and someone and, fighting the good fight. Because if we don't, I'm not saying you didn't. We haven't conversed that. There are some people that. Are you the only one left? 3 people, 2 likes. Thank you very much. So no, it's you, me, and a other. But thanks, probably trusted. I re-hid the gold 3 times. I did it for others, just as FF did it for me. It is out of my hands and out there for whoever seeks the gold. Well, that won't be me. I don't seek gold anymore. I seek peace and truth, or truth and peace. Actually, do I seek truth, peace, and love? Do I seek love? Do I give love? I would like my self-love to be returned. So the love that I have for myself, I sent out to the world. Well, to everywhere, to everything. In the hope that I was able to receive what it was that I was feeling within myself. Woken up by another person, I must admit. A beautiful, wonderful, amazing person who I have never felt, that way before, ever. Ever. And that's probably partly because I wasn't supposed to. Like I say, it's probably like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, an angel. I wasn't allowed to have that moment, that real moment of, whatever it is that he had. Where is he? I don't know. I haven't seen him around in a while. Who's he? Oh, Douglas. I don't know. I don't think you would seek the gold from the UK. No. I'm referring to traditional type treasures such as hidden loot by, well, if you know what a pirate was, criminals will hermits, not the treasure gained by rich people. I'm no longer interested in playing the games of the world. And that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. And that's what life is. Life is a game to them, and we are the pieces that they just move around whenever they feel like it. And that has to stop. Well, it has stopped. It's stopping. It hasn't stopped because obviously they still think they're doing stuff. But at some point, it's the point of no return. And then after that point, it's New Earth. Confirmation. I don't make it up. I don't plan these things. I say something and then it gets confirmed by. Once I hit that point of no return, it's already over, but once I hit that point of no return, it's New Earth time. It's, no more games from the flipping rich, famous, hidden people. And please be aware, I said it before, I'll say it again. Not all of these rich people are bad people. They're very nice people, and I appreciate them very much. I love them very much. And I don't hate anyone. And just because you're a celebrity doesn't make you a bad person. Or, you can be a bad person, but evil is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about bad people. I'm talking about evil, corrupt people. I'm talking about a being who wants, or beings that think they're gods and they're not. Or think they have the power of gods and they don't. Those are the people I'm talking about. And, their matrix is done. A new matrix is written. And they have to leave. They're not welcome here. They came in, they conquered, and they never left. And now they had a choice. And they made the wrong choice. Rich people only set, allure, and capture stuff for their books and documents and get richer. That is how it is. That's exactly how it is. But some of the time, well, most of the time, we don't have a choice. They're just using us for our energy, for our inherent. I'm not kidding. Like when I say the things and they're true, well, everything that I say is true. Confirmation. I'm not lying. Like Father's really telling us that everything that I'm saying to you right now, just as I'm closing up, it's the truth. And he's highlighting the fact that they're done and we're going to have a better life. And that they used us and took everything from us. And it didn't belong to them. It belonged to us. And they've lived their lives off our energies and our thoughts. And they've rid the world of those that came up with those thoughts that were going to help us. The Teslas and the people like that of the world. That lad that's doing the plastic fuel. I hope he's okay. And I hope his business takes off. And I hope we're all using his fuel and not these oil sheiks and oil barons that, destroying the world. Because basically we're using plastics, and then his method is to turn it into fuel that will, diesel and, normal fuel that will help run vehicles, that can run vehicles. And so we are able to use the plastics and still, help the earth. Or however that turns out. People are saying, oh, it has complications, but I'm sure it can get done. And, we have the 0 point energy that exists. If you lift your hand up high enough and have a energy meter, you'll get a reading. It's all around us. Tesla told us, other people have told us. The hydrogen person who did the car told us. There's been loads of inventions that are going to come into play, and we're going to have a greener environment, not because it's changing the climate or whatever, but because it's what we should do to look after the habitats of everything that lives here, to keep everything pure and clean and help whatever name you want to call her, Sophia, Gaia, Inanna, Isis, whatever name you want to give to these beautiful women, it doesn't matter. Can't we all just get along? That's what it boils down to. So Forrest told us the truth of the world in a treasure hunt for $1 million gold treasure type thingamajig chest, whatever. And in that, woke me up to the sort of person I was and the sort of place I wanted to live in. And it's not that place. And the thrill of the chase, no. whilst I understand it, it's not about that. If you imagine, he said it was about the man chasing the woman. But if you believe in divine union, your soulmate will find you, and you will find your soulmate. And that's not to say everything's lovey-dovey, blah blah blah. That's just to say, look, this is the person you're supposed to be with, or a person you're supposed to be with. And sometimes you're meant to meet people who are meant to make your life difficult. Doesn't always mean that it's going to be, great. It just means that it's already written. You're supposed to bump into each other, go through whatever scenario you're supposed to go through, and come out the other side. That's it. And then your love partner will come into your life for whatever reason they're supposed to come into your life. And that's just the way that it is. I just want to be able to know that, ice cream vans aren't going to go around at flipping midnight luring children out of their houses and, never to be seen again and stuff like that. Like Virginia and places like that. Just, or dolls, boo-boo dolls or whatever they're called. Like, get rid of them. They've got cameras in and all sorts of things. But they hex these things, and then, man, the stuff these people do. Just to rule people. To make them behave in a certain way. So thank you, thank you, thank you. There's 5, not 3. I lied, Sophia, there's 5. You're not the only one. Rose Bluff is a nice region where pirates hung around. Yeah, we should go there sometime. I can dream. Well, that's the song, isn't it? I can't even think what it is now. The Impossible Dream. To dream. The Impossible Dream. That's a beautiful song. I think it describes me in a way. To beat the unbeatable foe. I am far from an ocean. I'm probably just a little drop in it, but I'm proud to be that little drop. I almost bought land in me in 1980s. Me? What's me? I don't know what me stands for. Mario, what is your... What? After everything I've just said, you want to know what the end game is? We all just got to get along. Satan's gone and there's 1,000-year peace. That's my end game. If you believe I'm worried about the chase, I'm not worried about the chase. I did buy 5 acres in the 80s and another 5 in early 2000s. Maine. Ah. Wow. I suppose Massachusetts or something else has got MA. Me. Me. There's something important about me. The ME to do with, history. It's not coming through, but me is important. I know me is everything me, and I've said that, but there's something else about me. I might look it up because it's not coming through, but I know there's something about me, ME, that doesn't mean what I think it does. I think it's to do with early divinity, something like that. I don't know if I can hear next door or someone else. 10 acres in Maine? Is that the New York, Washington area, Maine? The New Jersey type area up there? There's some bad things going on around there. It's all going to come out. I'm not even going to say in the wash. It's just all going to come out. There's so much flipping. And I'm not going to say it's just Democrats, but they're pretty bad people. like what they've done, what they're doing. Because, there are obviously Republicans as well involved. China, Russia. New Zealand. Well, there's a volcano under the Pacific that, a mile wide or whatever, that is causing trouble. But there's one in Yellowstone that could cause trouble. I think when Father makes the examples, he's not going to hold back, because no one listens. It is what it is. Like I say, I can't feel sympathy for those people that won't listen. I can't feel sympathy for those people that go against good advice. I gave somebody some good advice, said don't do it, they did it. The end is ever drawing nigh for these people. And if you're listening, nigh means here. Excuse me. It's just the way it is. Maine was originally part of Massachusetts. Was in internship. Well, that's a crazy name, that is. Massachusetts. What's that song? I'm going back to Massachusetts. The little chest is gone and the game of fame and fortune is over, but not the thrill of the chase. That's what I'm saying. It should be over, because the thrill of the chase is designed to make you a loser. Whilst one person might win, everyone loses. That's what the thrill of the chase is about. To make you go through the ringer in the hope that you're the one. And you'll fight everybody else to do that. So what world's that? I don't want to live in that sort of world. And I've already said in my early videos, be careful what you wish for, because if you live in a world that is just everything's there for you, everything's great, it's all bliss, that's going to get very boring very quickly. It really is. So we have to live in a world, but I suppose that's why light and dark have to exist in the same place. But dark doesn't mean evil, and that's the difference. That's the big difference. Dark doesn't mean evil. Confirmation. Thank you. I fucking love you. Confirmation. It doesn't. And we should all just get along. Dark, light, male, feminine. Be able to understand each other, because, we have a different mindset. But if we had the same mindset, we'd have a better life. Yes, absolutely. And, to get out into nature is your best way to being, spiritual and ascended, being grounded, being, one with everything. Hush. Little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. Chill. Listen and care about the chase. Father sorted out the chase. It will happen how it's supposed to happen. Ain't nothing anyone can do about it. Not bothered. Don't care. Not chasing. Just giving you the answers as I see them in the words that were given to us. You can believe it or not. I don't care. I don't care. I don't have any agenda because I don't care. Everything that I'm due will come to me when Father's ready. Anything I'm not due will not come to me. That's it. End of. If I have not earned it, fair enough. But if I have, that goes for everyone else. If you've earned it, you'll get it. If you haven't earned it, you won't get nothing. If you've stolen it or had it deceptively, you'll lose it. That's it. It's got nothing to do with the chase. The chase was just a representation of life. And we're told in life that we need to join the thrill of the chase. And we don't. I don't need to chase a goddamn thing. I don't. I just need to have faith. Gotta have faith in a maverick, in the Father, in the Mother, in Source, in the universe, in the angels, in the ancestors, in the spirits, whatever. Just have to have faith. I just have faith in me. I know what I'm capable of. I like saying whatever as well, Sophia. Okay. I can assure you it's not worthless. I just gave you the answer to the Omehas. I just gave you to the answer the way he used the word halt. In fact, I gave you quite a few answers. I don't think it's worthless. I think your words are worthless, but I don't think my videos are worthless. But if that's your opinion, that's fine. Thanks, Captain. I only tell you the truth. Whether you believe it or not, it doesn't matter. I'm not here to try and vindicate myself or, don't know, whatever else you think I'm here for. I don't have any other agenda other than telling people what I believe is the truth and explaining why the things that Forrest said could mean this. And I know for a fact they do mean it. So, words don't mean what you think they do, so find out what the words mean. It doesn't get any simpler than that. Blah, blah, blah. Almost a song, but not quite. I was addressing Hush, who comes on to pick arguments. Yeah, but then I don't bother arguing, I just tell him the truth. Whether he believes it or not, or she believes it or not, I don't care. I think the problem is if Jack sold it, then these people of their souls goes away. Well, we know Jack didn't solve it. Well, we know Jack did not find the treasure we were all searching for. We know that Jack found, or was given, or whatever, a chest that was on the cover of the Thrill of the Chase book, because that's a real solution, the dust cover chest, which is a real solution at Heritage Auction, which has a few problems, but that's real, and no one can deny that. That is real. And I wish I could have lived to do the things I was attributed to could lead you to that answer. And also the information in the poem. So there is a dust cover solve. There is a chest that has the gold that went to Heritage Auction in that dust cover solve, apart from the olive jar and that. But that's why that happened the way that it did, because that is a truth. Like, the truth happened in that. There was a few issues, but the truth happened in that, in what happened. And I was asked, like, is there going to be an auction? And yes, there is going to be an auction. But the other auction that took place, nobody knows about. Well, not nobody, because somebody knows about it. making money for a certain country. But I expect that whatever was done for that to happen is reversed. And all of those things that Forrest talked about ends up in a chest back at the Smithsonian. It's that simple. Otherwise, you're going to lose more stuff. I believe Jack sold it, then sold it. Like I say, I believe that he had that sold, but I don't believe he found the real chest or anything like it. My. I'm drinking coffee right now. Imagine that. I have nothing to say when it comes to saying something. Ah, I understand that. Took a while, but it works. It works. And that would relate to who you think Jack is. I believe Jack solved it because Jack gave Forrest a message. But his name's not Jack. I like to hear some stories. Well, any part of some is me, isn't it? And those come from do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, which is also in the poem. The things I could tell you. Bye. Well, that's a good thing to tell us. No one's going to argue with that, Hush. If you went around and met people and the first words out of your mouth were bye, they'd love you. If those are the things you want to tell people. Some of the stories. Well, the story is real, the treasure is real. I've already explained what that means. The story is all faithful, the treasure is all faithful. There's a reason and a story behind whatever happened there, whether it's a 3-year-old girl or what, I don't know. I wasn't there. You'd have to ask Forrest what the stories are. And some people will say, well, we can't, but I'm sure you can. Who was it that said Jack saw the gold and then looked up and saw the blaze? I don't know if they said he saw the gold then looked up, but I don't know who it was. But that is, fair enough, isn't it? Because if you, not the gold, but if you see it and then the blaze is what goes up and comes down. But you see the blaze as you look up. If we're lucky, maybe we get Ian going live to convince us of him being a solver. He's the one with the B word book. What's it called? It's on the tip of my tongue, and every time I think about it, I can't think of it. But I'll know it when I hear it. Maybe you can. But, there are thousands of solvers. Everybody solved the poem, just didn't get the right answer. Correct answer. Everybody got the right answer to the poem, they didn't get the correct answer, which is another word for Old Faithful. And that's why you need a correct solve, because any other solve wouldn't do. And it's in a place, you wouldn't normally go. So I suppose there could be another soul similar to that, being a place you wouldn't normally go, but and it's the home of Brown, the Blaze, and Warm Waters all at the same time. The BBB, yes. What's the name of it though? What's the name? If not for my name, I would have nothing. Which is another, it's my story, just the names have changed, which is the same as the Bible. And, it could be the same as Father. If not for my name, I would have nothing. Satan stole his creation and stole his children. And if not for the fact that he's called Yahuwah, he would have nothing, because it's that one name for eternity. And that's the only thing that separates him from all the other gods that Satan wrote for you to follow. So, however Forrest got the information, I may or may not know, but he's basically telling the story that is true. The treasure's true. Or real. As opposed to the fake, virtual chase that we had. Breckenridge! 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 My apologies! That's it. Breckenridge. Broken Breckenridge. I know it's not called that, but but Breckenridge. The story is my stories. It's my story. Only the names have changed. Everybody's having a story is true, even if it is fiction or real life, because it is a story. Yeah, but he's basically saying you can read it and believe it. It's not what you think it is, because the names have been changed. And that's the important bit. If the names have been changed, and if not for my name, I would have nothing. And I hope nobody ever finds out. Can you imagine that? You change the names of a true story, and you hope nobody ever finds out the real name. Hush has stories, but we don't know if they are fiction or true to life. No, we don't. And even worse, we don't know if we can believe them. Even if they were told to be true or told to be fiction. That's not good. So I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. Like I say, told you the truth. Those are the answers. And I've explained why they're the answers. I've just said, look, here's the answers. This is what it is. I've explained why. And, I could go into more detail with other words that, how come I didn't get the Katy Railroad tracks? What was that for? Was that in the first one? The second one? See railway? Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, the railway tracks is one of these. Or one of those, off of that. So I'm going to end it here. That was how many minutes ago? Can't work it out. 30 minutes ago I was going to end this. Take care, everyone. Thank you very much. It's November 5th. Is our bonfire night tomorrow. So if anybody watches this in England and you've seen it before, or on November 5th, or at the weekend when you have your bonfires, just be safe with the fireworks and the fires. Thank you very much. Ciao for now.